Hi, this is garden art lesson number 4, Fimo leaf impression ornaments. I'm already starting to warm up the Fimo. That's the first thing you have to know about Fimo. It has to be worked. The materials that we're going to be using are, this is commercially bought Fimo, the soft type. We need a variety of leaves from the garden. I have some carrot, some tomato, some nasturtium, some lettuce, just a variety to see. Not all of them will work equally as well. So the idea is to have the kids look at the leaves, handle the leaves, have them understand what plant they're from, and see what works. So we're going to be making ornaments like this by pressing the leaves into the Fimo. The other materials that we'll use, I have a small, you need a small rolling pin. This isn't a rolling pin. It's something for putting in a baking dish when you're making bread. I'm not sure what it's for exactly, but it's a great rolling pin. I got it at the dollar store. Some wooden beads. I prefer wooden to plastic, but if your kids like plastic beads, it's fine, but the wood gives it a more natural look. Some cord for making the necklaces. Some saran wrap. We work the Fimo on the saran wrap because it's a surface it doesn't stick to, and you don't want it to stick to what you're working on. And something to bake the Fimo in. Okay, so I think this Fimo's worked pretty good. So the first thing you do is roll it out. You don't want to make it too thin. It should end up being, well, that's about 1/8 of an inch thick, because you're going to be rolling it more once you put the leaf in it. So we're going to experiment and see what leaves work well. I kind of like this kale leaf because it has a lot of texture to it and a nice interesting edge. So you put the leaf on there and then fold the saran wrap over and just lightly roll it so you're not making the ornament too thin. If it's too thin and you bake it, it's more likely to break. It'll be too brittle. So let's see how that one came out. That came out really good. You can see the kale impression there. If you want to make it, you can accentuate the lines of the leaf with a wooden tool. This is it's an hors d'oeuvre skewer, also from the dollar store. It's a really useful little tool. I'm going to accentuate the vein patterns in the leaf a little more. And maybe the edge, which is nice and frilly. Kale has a nice, interesting edge to it. And then, this is also fairly important, figure out where you want to put your hole for attaching the ornament. It shouldn't be too close to the edge of the piece, maybe about 1/4 of an inch down. And you want to make your hole fairly large because you're going to be threading some cord through it. So all right, so that is one phase of the project. You can tell the children if they don't want to make a necklace. For some reason, some children don't. They can make a window hanging, so something you can put up as a decoration in your house, or a keychain. You know, it's really for anything. So the Fimo is baking. You take it off and bake it. And meanwhile, we're going to make our necklace. So I have several kinds of cord here. I have a stretchy elastic. I find this is really good because you can stretch it to put it over your head, but there's other choices. There's this kind of a cord, and this is more of a leather look to it, and this is just plain twine. Anything like that will suffice. So basically, you just make your necklace. Whoop. They should use an even number of beads because when we put it together at the end, it's going to look more balanced with an even number. But like I say, there's no hard and fast rules about anything. If they want to use 3 beads, that's fine too. The patterns can be a regular pattern, it can be a random pattern. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, my necklace is going to have 10 beads. You should probably measure beforehand how long you want your necklace. It's better to make it a little bit longer than too short, so cut your, I'd say a good yard would be a good amount to work with. You can always adjust down smaller if you want to. Okay. When you're done, bring the 2 ends together and just tie an overhand knot. Okay, so there's your necklace. You can check to make sure it's going to fit over their heads. Because this one's stretchy, it's better. If you have the unstretchy cord, it has to be long enough for sure to get over their head. So we'll pretend that our Fimo is done baking and our ornament has emerged from the oven and the hole is right there. So then we're going to divide the beads in half. It's 5 on one side, 5 on the other, because I have 10 beads. And grab it in the middle. Then you're going to kind of squish down the cord and put it through that hole like that. And then you loop the whole thing through, and there it is attached. Backwards. There's your leaf impression ornament. See you next time.